Employees are the main asset for the company, so finding the right people and winning the global war for talent is a critical challenge for the companies nowadays. At Nomad Capitalist, we have hired people from all over the world. We are more than 100 people, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to win a global war for talent. I'm Khatia. I've been working here at Nomad Capitalist for 3 years, and I've been helping Recruitment grow our international team. So today I'm going to tell you a bit about our strategies on how we grew the team to over 100 people from all over the world. I'm going to answer this question quite directly. How do you win the war for global talent? My answer is that you should find the talent and you should look for talent in the whole world instead of being constrained in one particular country where the talent might be expensive, might be limited, you might not have people with the skill set that you need. So all of those challenges that come with not being able to find the right people in your place where you are, you can simply overcome that challenge by finding people elsewhere. What we've done is we've analyzed what we need and then what kind of skills we need, what type of roles we have. To be honest, Nomad Capital is a very unique company and we have very unique roles. So in many cases, we were looking for two types of people. Type of people that were professionals, let's say working in marketing, finance, HR, and then on the other hand, we were looking for people who have certain background, law, business development, certain skill set that they come with, but we are teaching the rest, and therefore we are looking for people who are ready for challenge, ready for learning more. And then we started analyzing the different countries and regions and finding out places where there was high probability to find this type of people. So first what we did was that we created our global brand. Having the brand that is global, that is international, really helps you attract international talent. Our team in Georgia grew a lot over the last 2 years, and number one motivation that I found in people that joined the company was that they wanted to be part of something global. They wanted to be part of something international, and that really attracts people who actually want to be part of the global community. And now we see all of those people coming from different countries on our global team buildings, and we see how happy they are, and then we see why they wanted to be part of the global company, and then we see why we started all that. But for you to be able to do that, again, you really have to analyze what type of roles you have, and then there are certain regions that are known for that type of talent. Say tech talent in Eastern Europe is quite known for that. Many companies in the US, Canada are offshoring their talent and operations in Eastern Europe. When it comes to tech talent, I remember Armenia, big IT and tech offices in Armenia where people, each person would make around $2,000, and that would be considered like a good salary. Or Baltic countries, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia. I see that many companies were finding talent for tech in those places. And of course, it's not limited only to those few places, but those are the ones that our clients or us ourselves have found talent for that. For some of the roles, it's more important for them to be in your time zone rather than them to have specific skills, like you're able to train them. In that cases, companies in the US choose to offshore their talent in Latin America, the same time zone, huge population, a lot of people to find talent from, so that really matters. And that reminds me the size of the country. So if you're choosing a place to hire from, if the population is high, of course, you have high probability for finding the right person. Whenever we consider where to hire next, we always look for young population and young talent who is widely English spoken and who are eager for opportunities. And that is the case for certain Southeast Asian countries, certain Eastern European countries, many Latin American countries. So if you're looking for the type of roles that you can train people for and you need certain skills and motivation, you can go to any of those places actually. So you do have a lot of choices. So we should not overlook the administrative aspect and legal aspect of all this. So you have to ensure that all of those are covered. From my experience, employer on record services usually help quite a lot. They are the ones finding your talent in some cases. Some cases you find it yourself. That really depends on what you want and if it's easy enough for you to find people. But in every case, they are employing them for you, so you do not have this administrative burden of creating employment employment agreements and termination agreements and any type of administrative work in foreign language. So in my own experience, either you have to find the right recruitment firms and really find the good ones that can really help you find the people, or you should know the channels that are popular in those regions for finding the right jobs. Even in some countries where there are a lot of great people that you can hire, or there are a lot of jobs that a person can take, sometimes person and a job cannot find each other, and that only because it's posted in a wrong place or a person is looking in a wrong place. In my experience, if you're looking for someone international because your team is international and your company is international, LinkedIn is the right place to go. But in some cases, that definitely is not enough if you are looking for specific skills and experience. So in that case, you have to find the right recruitment firms, or you have to find people through referrals. I think this is how we grew the team initially. We find the one good person, and then one good person brought, let's say, 4 or 5 good more, and that really helped us expand in certain locations. But it is really important to find the right channels, have a right brand for your company, and that way you will be able to attract talent. In many countries, they have their own job boards, and I would say in most cases, I have not found quality talent or people who I needed there, but it really depends on what your role is. It's good to consult recruitment firms, but again, ensure that they understand your values and they understand what you're looking for. But all of that cannot happen if you are not able to create remote work opportunities, right? You have to ensure that at least some of your roles are remote, so you can actually have people elsewhere. Our team, including management team members, actually are all over the world. And yes, it is a bit challenging to ensure that everyone communicates quickly and you ensure that information flows seamlessly, but even though they're not in the same room. But the way we fixed that challenge was that we hired people who are used to remote work, who are used to communicating with those type of online communication channels. So even if they're not in the same room, even if they're not in the same office, they still manage to share the information, make important decisions, and then share all those decisions and directives to their teams. So besides LinkedIn, there's Remote First and Indeed and so on and so on. In my experience, what has worked the best was LinkedIn, but it was mostly headhunting. So finding the right person and you go to them rather than waiting for the right person to apply for your role. And I mentioned earlier that you will need to train people for this. So you have to create training programs and materials that will help you. We have our own internal academy that everyone goes through. And that's not only about giving the specific factual information. No, it's about sharing the right values, and it's sharing about what we do and how we do in this company. So you would have to probably do something like that to ensure that different cultures collaborate well with each other. We cover work ethic differences and cultural differences in other videos on this channel. So for you to be able to actually grow your international team, you should be able to really know what those differences are and then how to combat those differences. One of the books that I've read is A Culture Map, which definitely in detail with examples explain how this really works, and it was really eye-opening for me. So if you're interested, feel free to get that book. And I want to mention the benefits. We hire people for the shared values. We hire people who are interested in things that we do and how we help our clients. However, offering the right benefits package can always make it much, much easier for you to win this war for the talent. Gladly, in the places that we found people, which is again all over the world, we found that the benefits, including health insurance packages or allowances and so on, were much lower priced than what we could have found in countries in Western Europe or in the US. As an example, with the $50 a month insurance package, you can get your team member the best health insurance existing in Georgia, for example. So, and this is one example out of many that we've come across with. But at the same time, you have to be ready that in some countries, especially in Europe, they do expect to have a lot, at least 20 to 25, 30 days off per year, and plus national holidays. And that is something that's included in every companies package locally. So in many cases, again, it was much easier for us to offer great benefits to our team members, but we also had to know what is acceptable there, so how we can be competitive to the local companies. So again, knowing the market beforehand, before you decide to find people and hire people, knowing what local companies offer, that is the knowledge that will help you to get the best talent in the country. And while we talk about benefits, we have to talk about compensation as well. In our own experience, the way you can win the talent war is with salaries, is that you offer much more what the local companies offer, and that can be twice or three times more than the average, but it's still going to be lower for you if you come from the US or Western Europe. And it is actually a win-win for all, because they are actually getting higher standards and they have higher salaries, and you at the same time are able to cut the costs but get quality work, because those people are going to work hard to keep working and have the opportunities in your company. And once you hire those people, the war is not over, because you have to keep those people. So what we've done to combat that, because we have a lot of people who are working remotely, most of them actually are working remotely, and they do not know people in person. They do not know people who they work with in real life. And what we do is we arrange team buildings that are national team buildings. We fly everyone from all over the world to one location. It is very expensive, but it's well worth it, because we see how everyone's enjoying and seeing each other after maybe a year of talking to each other, working together on the projects, but never seen each other actually. And that really rises a team spirit, and they have the flexibility, they have working from home arrangements, but at the same time they are able to meet their team members and have fun and go to places that are unique for them at the same time. So that all really works great in the end. Well, all that fun does not come without challenges. Of course, logistically it's very challenging to find everyone's flights and get them all in one place at the same time, find places that are big enough to host everyone. But again, with the right planning, you can achieve that. But flying them to team buildings is not only way to keep them engaged. You have to offer them career development plans. I would not say that if you have people, especially on an important roles, located in different parts of the world, you should not really look at them as people who are just working for you, doing certain tasks in other countries. You have to really look at them and perceive them as part of your team and people who are growing your company with you. And they will know that, and they will be more engaged, and that way you will be able to keep them in your company, and you have to ensure that you recognize them for their achievements as well. So main point is not to look at them as people who are just sitting elsewhere and doing certain tasks. They're actually part of your team and growing the company with you. And that means that you have to trust them as well, but I'm not saying that you should just blindly do that. You have to ensure that you have managers, team leaders who have experience managing remote teams. You have to ensure that the results-based performance reviews are introduced rather than you work from certain hours, because you are not there, you might not see what they're doing, and the only way to be actually fairly managing their performance and really knowing what they're doing is having the goals and targets and being able to actually have objective metrics you can judge them on. And when someone's sitting in another part of the world and you do not really meet each other on a daily basis, sometimes it's really hard to know what they're actually thinking, what they're actually feeling. So you have to be extra careful, and you have to make extra effort to get actual feedback from them. And again, that is not a challenge that cannot be overcome, because again, an example is our own team. But you just have to be aware of it and ensure that you get that frequent feedback from them, and you also give them frequent feedback. One of the ways to find the right people is to recruit from the universities. There are many international universities that offer degrees in English, so those are exact people that you would want to get in your team. So overall, the way to win this global war for talent is knowing that you're not really constrained to one country or a place to find people in for your company. You should determine who you need, what type of roles you can offshore or create remote, and then based on your needs, find the right place, create right partnerships to get the best talent, and then you ensure that you have flexibility, you have innovation, and you have means to keep and retain the people that you will hire. So this is our strategy at Nomad Capitalist. Feel free to visit our website. We have a careers page. Maybe you find the right opportunity for you. Or if you're an entrepreneur or investor and you'd like to get help from us, how to offshore your talent, feel free to go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply and speak to our team member.